Hey, Mallory here, and right now we're going to be watching Assassin's Creed Episode 6. So, with the conclusion of last episode, we finished the entire situation between Marita and Eliza. Marita definitely gained a lot of confidence, and she's now trying to set up her own crew, if you will, right? Of course, Eliza is one of them. The other companions, not really sure who they are. I guess it could be the girls from the other noble families, the Diablo girl and the Dragoon girl, although that remains to be seen. What I do know is that we should be entering into a new arc now. However, not really sure what exactly the arc is going to be about. And also, I do believe that this episode in particular is going to be more of a transition episode. So, and the reason I know this is because the Seiyu, the voice actor for Marita, Tomori, I believe, Tomori-san, I listened to some Anna radios, whatnot, Japanese radios, and in an interview with her, she said that this episode was going to be more of a casual and light, fluffy, maybe potentially fan service episode. Don't really know. Let's just get into the episode to find out. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Alright. Okay, let me skip this real quick. And back. The Grey Witch. Who would that be? What? Hmm? Are they sneaking out to play or something? What? And yeah, and those two are. So if that we have all the three big noble classes: Paladin, Dragoon, Diablos, and we have Marita, a samurai. Well, I guess that confirms it. This is going to be more of a light-hearted episode, I'm guessing. This is like a secret party? Secret club? And since when did these four so close with each other? Alright, so is this like an all-girls party or something? Alright. I mean, I can totally see that happening. These are schools of tradition, after all. Macarons and muffins. A sort of meta comment on this? Alright. I'm more curious, like, why these four were suddenly this close and sitting at the same table. I seriously feel like they're skipping a lot of stuff in between. Yeah, like, why are they so good with each other right now? What kind of party is this? They need to find their own entertainment? Of course, these four. She ignored her. And I seriously feel like her face is drawn a little bit weird this episode. Hmm. I feel like I've heard this story before. Yeah! That was my interpretation of what Elisa should have been saying there. And committed suicide? Predictable ending. Elisa is not impressed. Ooh. Huh. That's her reaction? Huh. Ooh. Here we go. Now this is the real entertainment of the party, I'm guessing. Alright, calling it right now. You know, the two presidents are in on this. I'm not convinced this is an actual event. It's probably like a prank of some sort? Yeah. What? Oh. Hmm. Yeah, again, I'm pretty convinced that this is just, you know, the entertainment for this party. In fact, that's probably the maiden, isn't she? What's her name again? I can't remember. The other tutor. Along with Kufa. What's her name, actually? Rossetti? No. A heart? What is this? And what is that? Like, again, this is most obviously a sort of prank. And there's the fan service. I mean, ooh. Hmm? I mean, again, I'm not really like, I feel like it skipped a lot, the anime. Like, how are these for suddenly such on good terms with each other? She's the Dragoon class, right? That is so obviously a samurai move. Like, ah. You said that before. I really. Mm. What the hell? Search for his heart. Isn't this episode like 2 weeks too late? Like, they should have done this for Halloween or something. But if it's unofficial tradition, they should just let them be. Yep. Wait, what about the rest of the other girls? Yeah, so he saw. Hmm? What? Again, how come these four are suddenly so close with each other? Like, come on. Okay, okay, okay. I'll see you guys after this. Alrighty, so that was episode 6, and honestly, I don't really know what to talk about for this, right? Um, I mentioned before that even though I'm not going to view this series that seriously, and so I'll keep, even though, I'm going to enjoy it in a more, I guess, non-serious, ironic sort of way, I won't hesitate to roast it somewhat, right? And for this episode, though, I feel like even if you are a fan of this series, how can you actually justify this? They cut out so much stuff in the, as far as I know anyway, but like I haven't read the light novel, I haven't read the manga, but it seems obvious from the first 5 episodes that they've been cutting a lot of stuff, right? I mean, if they hadn't cut a lot of stuff and the original light novel was like that, then honestly it's a shit light novel, right? I'm just gonna go say it right now. There can, like, you can't make a story that basically jumps around like that, right? It's obvious they cut out a lot of stuff there, and well, okay. So in my mind, I was thinking, fine, they only have 12 episodes, I think, for this series, so maybe they want to get to the good part, right? So fine, if you want to cut some things, well, that's just a consequence of trying to adapt a light novel into an anime. I can, even though I don't really like it, at least it's an excuse, right? And yet you skip all that for this episode? Like, what exactly did this episode accomplish right now? Like, don't get me wrong, I do enjoy fan service episodes and filler episodes now and then, right? But I like it when, it's used sparingly and there's, you use it at the end of maybe a large arc or something, or it's not enough to adapt some other things, or you don't really have that important things to talk about. There's so many things that they could have covered here, right? Like, for instance, like, literally my biggest WTF from this episode was not even, the questionable animation quality, or the very obvious setup with the instructors, with the tutors here, and them trying to break up the party, right? Like, I felt like that was obvious from the very beginning. My biggest complaint about this episode is, when in the world did these four girls, the two, Marita and Elisa, when did they get so cozy and comfortable and friendly with those other two girls from the other noble family, right? Like, what exactly happened here? And suddenly they're besties, right? I mean, they're definitely not acting like they were just acquaintances on a battlefield or whatnot. It's definitely showing them that they have a lot of prior interactions before, and apparently they are pretty comfortable playing around with each other and so on and so forth, right? And even sleeping on the same bed now. And so that basically answers, I guess, part of my question in regards to her crew, if you will. So I guess it is these four going to be together, but like, why couldn't they just showed us their actual, you know, bonding process instead, or how they grew together to become friends? I feel like that would have been much more interesting than what they showed here, and it could also still be very casual as well, right? Like, maybe they were on. Again, I don't know the original story. I don't know how exactly they got to know each other better, but I'm assuming it had to do with some other stuff not related with the tournament, right? So why couldn't they adapt that instead? I feel like that would have had a, you know, had a purpose here, and it would have been fun and casual as well. Instead, here, maybe arguably you could say it's fun and casual, but it didn't really serve any purpose, right? It didn't really let us know more about the characters of the girls or whatnot, and I don't know. I'm just, why? That's my question. Why, right? I feel like they could have done much more, you know, given this episode's time, right? Man, like I said, I don't want to be too much of a negative Nancy towards this. I already said I'm not going to watch this seriously, but even watching this unseriously, there are some stuff that I still expect out of an anime, right? So, Anyways, I'd really like to know if, you know, if the original series did, you know, what kind of stuff that they actually did in order to try to portray these four girls bonding with each other and whatnot. If someone would be so kind enough as to explain that, that'd be much appreciated. And, well, I guess that's all I want to talk about for this episode. Hopefully, next episode we're going to get back on track with some meaningful episodes instead. That doesn't, you know, entail sort of like a huge time leap with lots of things happening that we don't know about. So, yeah, that's it for this episode. I'll see you guys next week.